Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to another exciting round of Season 1, the Prime Meridian Racing League, right here on VirtualRacing.Network. Thank you so much for joining us live as we get set for another exciting day of action out on the track. 64 laps at this 2.35-mile street course, bumpy as heck. Gonna have your hands full all day long if you're one of these IndyCar drivers. And that is exactly what makes for some exciting action. So thank you again for joining us. As you can see there on our screen, the 2021 IndyCar winners, Marcus Ericsson and Patricio Award. But of course, this track having been visited since actually, not this track, but Detroit having been visited since the 1920s by open wheel cars. It has a long history of amazing IndyCar drivers, including Bobby Rahal, Danny Sullivan, you take your pick, Sebastian Bourdais, Helio Castroneves, many famous IndyCar drivers over the years winning. And so who will add their name to the list? That is anyone's question, and we're so excited to find out as we get rolling with qualifying here for the Prime Meridian Racing League at Belle Isle. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Trevor Greenfield. So pleased to have you with us here live on VirtualRacing.Network as we've been since the third race of the season at Road America. Last week, of course, bringing you the very special Indy race. And so this week, a return to road courses of sorts. Of course, a street circuit here. And as I mentioned, very tight, bumpy, and fast. So let's check in on the action as we've got about 20 minutes remaining here in the qualifying session for today's race. It's Andreas Eick. So we'll get his best lap time put up there on screen with a 1:13.37. His last time around, Andreas Eick looking very fast today here in Detroit. Racer for Team Talent. As you can see, then second place on track as we watch Andreas Eick, I think, getting ready to do another flyer. Second on track, we've got David Soranzo. Actually, it looks like he slowed down a little bit. He's got a 1:30.53 on the board. Alex Salmon in third place, still first in the points. We'll take a look at the points here in just a minute. But third place at the moment for qualifying. Will Lyon currently sitting at the top end of the points, looking to possibly continue that streak today. Sitting in fifth at the moment with a 1:13.99. All these drivers will be looking to get a faster lap in. As we continue on, 18 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. So why don't we take a quick look while we can at the weather. It's 110 degrees Fahrenheit out there, so tires will be a little bit of a factor as they degrade, but it's not too bad. We've seen as high as 120 and 130 Fahrenheit on track before. So definitely the red tire still going to be the favorite tires here in Detroit. And that means that drivers will be able to qualify on the red tires, but they will have to utilize the black tires at some point during the race today. So that will be part of the key strategy. They'll have to get 2 laps in on the green or on the black tires. We take a look here at Matthew Levine. And also a 10-mile-an-hour breeze, that's to be noted. Thanks, James Crouch, for joining us over in the YouTube chat room. If you're watching us via an embedded stream somewhere else, make sure you come on over and chat with us. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat room. Greatly appreciated. And you can let us know if you're rooting on a team member or someone from your own country or just a friend, family member, whatever. Come on over, hang out, let us know what's going on and what you're expecting out of today's race. I've done quite a few races here, including with the Elite League and a number of different open races here. And for me, what I'm expecting is that qualifying is really going to matter. So So we can see David Soranzo there moving up into second place with the 1:13.40. Take a look on board. David, see if he can manage to squeeze out some faster sectors here. So Soranzo putting in another lap to be his, he's working on his 8th lap of the session. Andreas Eick now working on his 9th lap. Philip Lee working on his 10th lap. Philip Lee now up into 3rd. And Alex Salmon in fourth place at the moment. Levine in the pits in 5th. We've got Lyon, Mills, Blackwood, Pearson, Grossberger out on track at the moment. That's your top 10. Mills back into the pits. So these drivers with 16 to go, still looking to get in a couple of quick laps. Soranzo comes across the start-finish line. That time by, you see it there, 1:13.65 on your screen, the top. So Soranzo, they're having to pass a stalled car. I don't know if Soranzo will be able to get in a faster lap this time. Jump back to on board with Alex Salmon. Again, your points leader looking to get up there. See if he can challenge for the pole position, because as I mentioned, track position so crucial here. If you can be starting right up at the front, it's going to give you a lot of ability to avoid crashes, potential cautions. There are caution flags that can wave here. So, again, my expectation is possibly that there will be cautions, as you can see how tight this racetrack is. Take a look back over with Andreas Eick as he's on another flyer. Soranzo pulls into the pits, not able to go faster than his 1:13.40, and just 3/100ths faster is this man, Andreas Eick, on your screen right now. Will he eclipse that time this time by? Does not, with just a 14.92. It's a little loose coming around 1 and 2 there. You see how loose the cars do get. They get very upset. Down hard onto the brakes. This is a very difficult corner to get exactly lined up right, as is this one. Can be very easy to lose the back end. Looks like Andreas Eick might have backed off just a little bit, though. So it's a little bit easy for him. We'll take a look at Philip Lee. Currently sits 3rd. Looks like he's starting another flyer. We'll see whether he's got anything to challenge for the pole. You see a driver just coming out in front. May or may not hurt, depending on how much he had to lift and their little problem with exit. And that's how easy it is to throw off your entire lap as you seek those hundredths of a second looking for pole position. So Philip Lee currently in 3rd place, the light blue Spirit Box machine. Will Lyon here is currently sitting in 4th. His best time just a little bit under 3/10 off of the pole position time set by Andreas Eick. So how awesome to have some of you joining us in the chat. Appreciate it. Don Day jumping in for a minute, saying hello. Regular in our VirtualRacing.net broadcast over on YouTube. Thanks for stopping in again, Don. And by the way, you're watching the Prime Meridian Racing League. Brand new league, just started this year. It's an excellent international series filled with lots of great drivers around the world, some of the best in the IndyCar that are out there on iRacing. So if you want to be part of this awesome league, make sure you hop on over to iRacing and find the Prime Meridian Racing League and feel free to send them a note and or apply. And I know that there's still space in some of these races to get in, even though it's quite a filled roster. So feel free to jump in and chat with them. Also over on Discord as well. So we've got about 11 minutes left. Let's take a look at some of the other drivers currently out on track. Taylor Mills here. Kind of blinking a little bit, but got Taylor potentially looking at a top 10 starting position. Sam Blackwood sitting in the pits at the moment. Michael Grossberger. It's not how he spells his name, but that's how our software interprets it and puts it on the screen. So we hope Mr. Grossberger's okay with that. Otherwise, we'll have to go beat up somebody over at our software maker because it's not configuring the way we would like it to. Nevertheless, the Americanized version of Mr. Grossberger's name. And the Austrian currently sitting in 9th. He had a rough race at Indy, finding his way up into the front, but having a couple of incidents that actually was penalized for one of them that we saw. So that will not affect his starting position today. Connor Pearson, another driver that was having a great race last week. Absolutely looked like a rocket out there, potentially getting up into first, but unfortunately it didn't work out and got caught up in another incident, as we see him having an incident right here on broadcast in qualifying. Of course, that's the beauty of this format. You have plenty of time to get out there and try and get a fast lap in. So here, Mark Johnston, the number 56 machine, currently sitting in 12th. Take a look at Christian Malkorek. Bratislava, Slovakia. One of the drivers from the Last Lap Motorsports Spark VR team. And I'm not sure why it's not showing his team name on there. Again, we're a little confused when we put stuff into driver override spots and it doesn't show up on screen. Sometimes it's beating on the door of our software maker to figure out what's going on. Loic Marchand here in currently in 19th place, just trying to get in a solid qualifying effort. So Loic trying to get it a little faster today. Doesn't want to quite start so far back. Might get caught up in one of those incidents. Simon Maltby thus far only with a 1:17.01. It's his fastest lap. I'm sure he'll be looking to improve that a bit. Have not yet seen a time from Magnus Anderson, Bennett Bars. Neither one of those drivers or Jessica Meyer setting a time thus far. But your pole sitter, Andreas Eick, currently on track, and his last lap, as you see there on screen, a 1:14.867. He's not so confident that he shifted over to running black tires and trying to do a black stint or anything for race fuel, but I think he's probably pretty happy with where he's at. If you look at those times, I mean, I would say he's almost practicing the race set at this point. That just doesn't really look like qualifying times to me. So he might be very happy with where he's at qualifying times wise, and we'll see whether that's a smart move or not, because as you can see here, David Soranzo, at least as of lap 11, was trying to put in a faster time. So, kind of a brave move by Andreas, but Andreas perhaps wanting to make sure that he's truly ready to go for today's race. And here you can see, and again, you know, other things can affect the qualifying lap speed. You might come across a lap traffic or somebody who is off pace, not quite on a flyer, and that can throw off your speed as well. So we look at David Lee here, 6 minutes and 41 seconds to go. His last lap for him was a 1:14.64. We switched to David Soranzo. His last lap, a 1:13.49. Just 12/100ths of a second off of Andreas Eich's pole time thus far. And we watch to see whether David Soranzo is going to be able to overtake Andreas Eich for that pole position. There you see on screen his second sector faster, but is it enough? His third sector is off, so I don't think so. And there he just touches the wall before the final corner. He hit the kink in the straightaway and will not be faster on that lap. You heard it. That time, a 1:13.49. So, once again, very, very close. I'm sure David right now is looking for every extra little trick he can do, setting the car into the corner, trying to get on that throttle a little early, get the extra run off the corner. You can see down just a tiny bit in Sector 1. Sector 2 was where he was strongest last lap. This lap, not so much. David's going to be seeing that information and making a decision whether he wants to do another lap or finish this one out. And I don't know. There you can see he's off a little bit again, and there he loses the back end. Does not hit anything and pops back out of the car. So that will do it for Soranzo's pole run. As we get down to the closing moments of qualifying here. Again, so happy to have everybody joining us on VirtualRacing.Network. It's exciting that we get to do this broadcast. Not only do I personally really like this track, Detroit, it's extremely challenging, but also just the fact that we get to cover such a great league with incredible talent. PMRL in its first season already making an awesome name for itself. It looks like, yeah, so Lee actually up on Soranzo's time quite a bit there in the last sector, but not able to move ahead. But Philip Lee cementing third place starting position. So just 3 minutes to go. We've got Andreas Eich, David Soranzo. So Eich did do a 1:13.89 last time by. That's still not going to be fast enough to overtake. You take a look at David Soranzo here, who's back on track. I say not fast enough to overtake, not fast enough to get a better pole position time than that. David Soranzo last time by was a 1:13.49. He's just now going to be starting his next flyer, so we'll see whether he can potentially go faster. Philip Lee back in the pits, as is Alex Salmon. Will Lyon on track at the moment. Last time by a 1:13.84, so he's a couple of tenths off of where he was. Question as to whether any of these drivers can improve. And again, so easy to do, just losing that back in. That's a spot right there, as well as that corner right there where he lost it again. I've had exactly that problem myself, and that is exactly what the outcome was. It started to get loose on entry into that previous corner. I gathered it back up and then tried pushing it into the next corner, and no good. Goes right around and into the wall potentially. So some stuff we're going to be watching for in the race for sure, and it is just going to be so easy to lose the back end of the car potentially. So Andreas Eick here on the screen, last lap, 13.8. He really doesn't have to do anything else to claim pole position. So we get down to just 1:25 to go. And we keep an eye open to see if anyone looks like they're going to be able to improve. There, Andreas Eick shows a moment of weakness, puts it into the wall. I'm not sure if that was a qualifying simulation or a qualifying effort, or if that was a race simulation, but either way, you wouldn't want to put it into the wall like 1 minute to go. Good thing the team is lightning fast in those repairs in the garage. It's almost like you go straight back to the garage and there's a brand new car waiting for you. Pretty amazing stuff in the PMRL. There we see Soranzo having an issue. That was right at the kink. That's an interesting area to lose the back end of the car. You would think it would get lost a little bit earlier than that. So just 27 seconds to go here in the session. Will anybody be able to improve? I don't think so. We've got Philip Lee on a flyer at the moment. Can he do it? And of course, I would choose the lap and look away as he actually pulls into the pits. But Matthew Levine here, still working, still trying to find those extra tenths. His fastest lap, a 13.95, and he puts it into the tires a little bit. It's going to knock away the front wing. And that'll cause a corner like that to be just an absolute nightmare where you need that downforce. Connor Pearson coming up just behind. He too has knocked off a corner on his wing. So a number of drivers really trying to find that extra time. But there it is, folks. Pole position for Andreas Eick. See if we can get some of this stuff off the screen and take a look at the results. As soon as they go live, just waiting at the moment for it to show up on our screen. So while we await that, why don't we go ahead and bring up the current points? As you can see here, Alex Salmon leading the points over Philip Lee and Will Lyon. David Soranzo in fourth, so all these names right back up there at the top of the order today for the race, and that'll be interesting. George Whitehouse, we didn't see out there on the track. Perhaps today he will not be racing. Also, Connor Pearson is up there. Andreas Eick tied for seventh with Jesper Orman. We're also not seeing Jesper Orman starting today's race. So, we do have the starting order, however, and we will get that up on the screen. These drivers will begin to grid up here in the background. We have a very short pace lap. So we've got Andreas Eick on the pole, and it's by just 2/100ths of a second. David Soranzo there sliding into second. Philip Lee, the American, in third as well. Fourth, Will Lyon. Alex Salmon. So we actually have a warm-up in this league, so we'll have a few minutes to discuss the results. You can see on screen, drivers heading out there, get their last moments in of practice. Will Lyon in 4th, as you can see. Alex Salmon 5th. Matthew Levine in 6th. Connor Pearson 7th. Sam Blackwood will be starting 8th for Wyvern Racing. Luka Legovic in 9th. A lot of these say privateer. Like I said, it's one of the glitches that we're working on in the system. Won't let us actually put their team names in there due to a glitch, so we'll hope to have that set for you next race. In the meantime, as you see the driver information posted at the bottom of the screen when we're actually underway, that usually will have the correct team information. So you see the rest of the grid here. Taylor Mills in 10th. Christian Malkorek with an 11th place qualifying effort. I'm sure he was actually faster in practice, so I'm sure he would have been looking to get a little bit up the grid, but Michael Grossberger there in 12th, Mark Johnston 13th, Mark Hutchinson 14th, Oscar Fredrickson 15th, and Loic Marchand in 16th. Tim Miller starting 17th, and Thomas Klessens in 18th. See the rest of the starting grid, 25 cars, and it's really starting to look like a real IndyCar grid out there. See James Lee wishing good luck to Philip. And Max Wolf also joining us over in the YouTube chat room to wish everyone good luck. Of course, on your screen, take it back. It's not 25 cars. It's actually 23. You see Vilda and also Jessica Sabin there in the running order, but of course they're not actually racing. So take a look at some of the cars that are circulating at the moment for our warm-up. Get ready for today's race. You can see Andreas Eich just putting in his first lap at 1:16.26. A lot of drivers choosing not to go out and put in an official lap, or perhaps just going out and coming back in and doing what's called an installation lap, just checking the pits, checking to make sure that they can do a pit stop. So while we have the moment, why don't we watch on board and just see what it's like to ride around here. We have a moment, so why not? This is Andreas Eich around Detroit. So, hope you're enjoying getting to ride along with Andreas, your pole sitter, here as he continues his warm-up, getting used to the race fuel, the race setup, seeing how it might degrade the tires or not, and then probably going to do a final pit stop as we wind down the final seconds here. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the team standings as well. Throw that up on the screen. And there you can see where the teams are at after 4 rounds. I want to thank Vilda Wallin for doing the graphics for these. She supplies them for the league, and we're just able to use them here. So TM Racing at the top with 221 points. SMS Racing just behind. And Team Spirit Box in 3rd. All these teams really close. Team Wyvern Racing with O'Connor Moore. Slow and Steady, 3 Crowns Racing as well. Climbing the grid with Jesper Orman. Of course, as I mentioned, Jesper not here today, so that will make it difficult for their team to gain. We get ready to go. It's just 54 laps, just 54 laps. Boy, let me tell you, this is going to be 54 laps of heart stopping. I mean, really, your heart is in your throat the whole way around. There's no time to breathe. Even the straightaways, the car wants to get loose. This is a difficult track. I hope everybody is ready to see some amazing action, because these drivers are going to have their absolute hands full. It will be an absolute pleasure to bring it to you live, uninterrupted here on VirtualRacing.Network. It is the 2021 Prime Meridian Racing League Season 1, Round 5. And we're just about ready to kick this one off. So the pace car pulls away, and we are good to go. Take a final look at that weather on screen. 107 degrees track temp and a 10-mile-an-hour breeze. Pace car pulls away. I said it was a short pace lap. Tires are not up to temp. It's Andreas Ike leading the field down to turn 1. Got some action a little bit further back. So we can see Philip Lee and Alex Salmon. Looks like a couple of drivers have had to back out of it. 3 wide here. We see a car around. I think it's not Christian Malkorek. I'll have to find out who that was. See two wide going into the corner. Sam Blackwood in the middle of a fight. Blackwood up into 5th, 3 spots gain. Alex Salmon up into 4th. It looks like Philip Lee is the one who's dropped back into 6th now. He's lost 3 positions. Andreas Ike still your leader. Will Lyon has managed to climb a spot. Now we see Christian Malkorek. Number of drivers gaining there, and Malkorek straight lines it. And there we see another driver into the barrier. I'm not sure who that was, but he continues. There you see the driver. It's Taylor Mills just in front. No, is it Taylor? I literally cannot find the driver. Apologize for that, but someone has had an incident on track. It's dropping back. But Andreas Ike continues out front. David Soranzo in 2nd and Will Lyon in 3rd. With Alex Salmon a close 4th and Sam Blackwood your top 5. Connor Pearson just back behind that in 6th place. Philip Lee, having lost 4 spots from the open, back into 7th. Taylor Mills still blinking out on our screen. Luka Legovic right about where he started in 9th. There's Mark Johnston, shown now in 10th, gaining 3 spots. Mark Hutchinson finding himself up 3 spots. Oscar Fredrickson up 3 spots. David Glass up 3 spots. Up 6 spots, excuse me. Tim Miller up 3 spots. Simon Malpe up a few spots as well. Henry Jakimski comes over to YouTube and says, hey, go TMR. We absolutely agree. So we'll take a look back, though. It was Team Spirit Box's Thomas Klessens who had a moment, got it wrong, and got it into the wall. Does not look like he knocked off the tires, but he elected to pop back out. Earlier, we had Loic Marchand having this moment. That was just to avoid, well, actually very close to Christian Malkorek's incident. And I believe that was who we saw having the problem, going wide here, trying to avoid other cars. So Loic Marchand not having the race that he would like. And we pop back out to the live picture. Up to the front, Andreas Ike leading by 1.3 seconds. Gale also stopping over to say hello. Go Evo SR for sure. One of the teams in the championship. Appreciate everybody coming by and saying hello. So we've got Soranzo here in 2nd. not very far behind. It's a 3-car hunt here, really, for second place. Will Lyon hanging on very well, and just behind him, the fastest car on track, it's Alex Salmon. Don't count him out. He wasn't having a great race last race at Indy, I'll tell you that, but I think he is set for this track. And he tries to chase down the leader from back in fourth. He's going to have to get through Will Lyon, David Soranzo. There looks like we just had a problem. There, it's Philip Lee and Connor Pearson racing hard. Philip Lee just in front. Connor Pearson may have had a moment. Pearson trying, and there, the car gets loose. He goes around. Pearson with all kinds of problems, and 2 more drivers just in front tangling. And again, another problem. Looks like Luka Legovic, and now we see Simon Maltby getting caught up. I believe it was... We'll go back and see if we can figure out what exactly happened there. I think this is the moment right before the yellow came out. And there you can see the chain reaction as multiple drivers getting hit. That was Luka Legovic and Taylor Mills, Connor Pearson coming through and crashing yet again. And then just moments later, after the yellow flag has come out, we have this moment with Magnus Anderson crashing into the back, I believe, of Bennett Bars, who had slowed down for the accident. So all kinds of problems here on track. It's kind of all happened at the same time. There on screen, you see Magnus Anderson. So these drivers, this is going to really change some things, most likely, with the tires on board these cars and what they choose to run. We're going to look and see who is on reds at the moment and who chooses to jump onto the black tires. Again, you do have to run those black tires for 2 laps of green flag. So that is a crucial difference here. Obviously very different than in the official series, where there is no requirement to run the black tires at all, primary tires whatsoever. So Connor Pearson did enter the pits and leave again. So that will move Pearson down to the end of the lead lap. I don't think he is a lap down, so he will have saved his lap. Now circulating and trying to regain the back of the field. As we watch to see these cars circulating now, Andreas Eick, everyone has kind of rejoined, but you know what this will do? Very interestingly, and there, I was just gonna say, Connor Pearson, I don't know if what happened? Did he get it slowed down? Looked like he was just a little bit off. My goodness, that was close. Very, very close there. Our notes said that he crashed. Of course, that was not accurate. Just he slowed down extensively. So here, Andreas Eick, will he head into the pits or not? We await to see. He does not choose to pit. Neither does David Soranzo. So this will be an interesting moment. There we see one of the drivers, Tim Miller, electing to pit. Magnus Anderson also in the pits. No idea why the TV did not want to follow Magnus. But these drivers will be getting their stops done. I don't see them going to the black tires. And we do not have any sort of information as to whether they started on blacks and changed or not. But those drivers not on those tires, not on the primary tires, still staying on reds. And so the only drivers shown a lap down are Thomas Klessens, Loic Marchand, Taylor Mills, and Luka Legovic, who are now, I think, possibly Legovic. Well, it says he's circulating, so I guess we do have everybody back in the race. So there is Luka on your screen. So what this does is this essentially puts this driver, Tim Miller, into the position of being the only driver that has, or one of the only drivers that has stopped. Everybody behind Tim Miller, back to Matthew Levine, Jessica Myers, Christian Malkarek, and Magnus Anderson, as well as Connor Pearson. All these drivers have actually... We have a problem with Tim Miller here. All those drivers have pitted. Tim Miller pulling over to the side, and I think just letting some drivers go by. Must have had a end-of-line penalty, perhaps pitting too early. So Mills struggling there. James Crouch in the YouTube chat room looking over at Mark Hutchinson, who is in 7th, has gained 7 spots today. What an awesome day thus far for the number 33 car for Team Evo SR. See the Northern Irish driver moving forward on the track for sure. Sure, we're not done seeing his name up at the front. See if he can get a top 5 out of today's race. So we've got another lap around behind the pace car. And it's a great time to bring up, if you're enjoying this coverage of myself prattling on about Indy cars, then you'll probably enjoy more coverage here at VirtualRacing.Network. On Wednesdays, we're bringing you the Prime Meridian Racing League. On some Fridays, we're bringing you the IndyCar iRacing series, which races sporadically on our broadcast Fridays. And then on Sundays, we have the United States IndyCar League. That's just some of the fun, exciting IndyCar and other action that we're planning here at VirtualRacing.Network. So make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube and tick the little notification icon. We'll make sure that we get all of the future races posted. There was an issue with scheduling, so we've had to go back and revise the races that we've posted previously. We'll get those all posted this week, and you can subscribe out to the end of the season so you don't miss any of this awesome PMRL action or any of the other action here on VirtualRacing.Network. In the meantime, you can also visit the official PMRL. That's their handle over on Twitter. Stay up to date on all the latest updates for the Prime Meridian Racing League. That's official PMRL over on Twitter. And in the near future, we'll also be bringing you lots of information about social media and streaming information for these drivers that are out there on track at the moment. Some of them choosing to stream their races live and some of them not. But many of them part of teams that have social media accounts. So just part of what we're going to be doing to bring more information to you guys, the viewers, and connect you up with these drivers. So we get ready to go back under green here. This will be 7. This will be, we're working lap 7 now. So lap 8 will be green. So Andreas Ike slowly makes his way around, we call the fountain area. Fountain just off to the right. And that's a site of a lot of celebrations. So the drivers in real life climb out and climb into the fountain and splash around a little bit before their final driver interviews. So, real life being one thing, this is just about as close to real life as you can see. We have an issue in the back. Is that right? Are we having an issue? We appear to have several drivers maybe have gotten into each other at the back. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm not necessarily seeing anybody diving off yet. And we are green. Andreas Eick leads us back to the green flag. We do have Michael Grossberger, Matthew Levine pulling back into the pits. We're going to take a look at that in a moment. And this is David Soranzo right on the tail of Andreas Eick, looking into turn one. Can't do it. Decides discretion the better part of valor there. And we're seeing Christian Malkarek has gotten around Jessica Myers, Luka Legovic, and Bennett Bars jumping back to the pits, also having issues. And here we see Will Lyon looking at the back of David Soranzo, probably trying to make a decision whether he wants to go and force the issue or not. You see the overcast settling on different parts of the track out there. Alex Salmon just behind this battle. Of course, Salmon and Lyon, Soranzo, as well as Eick, but those three are up in the very top of the points. So this battle on track is for, as well as Philip Lee back in sixth, that is for the fight at the top of the order in the points. We have another note. Take a look at it. Loic Marchand really having a moment here. Another driver behind, just having to take evasive action. Loic Marchand, I'm not sure. Perhaps trying to orient himself on the track and get it spun around. But we go back to the live picture. Look at Andreas Eick, just an old term, picking it up and putting it down. That's exactly what he's doing. Just clicking off the laps. Kind of on automatic, it looks like at this point. Living within what the car will do. Here we've got another note. Thomas Klessens with an incident on track and spinning as he tried to make a move around the outside. So the Team Spirit Box Eternal Blue paint job looking gorgeous there. Unfortunately, we'll have to collect that back up. And just as we were looking at that, Simon Maltby back in 15th, at the moment spinning across the track. Wow, that was close to hitting some other drivers there. Tagging the wall, backing it in. Looks like he gets it back together there with Taylor Mills behind, still blinking a little bit. We have note that Mark Johnston has also crashed. So attrition starting to really take its toll here. There, Mark Johnston. That's so easy to get it loose there, and unfortunately the rear wing unhinged, the front wing wheel damage, and that is why he has pulled it into the pits. And another note about Thomas Klessens. Things going from bad to worse for Thomas. Another spin sideways, and those red tires tortured in the number 7 machine. But this driver, Andreas Eick, picture of perfection. As I mentioned, just clicking off the laps that time, a 1:15.05 for the fastest lap of the race. He's got no problems, nobody in his rearview mirror. Then you've got David Soranzo, last time by a 15.7, so 6.5 tenths slower than the next man up the track, but this battle for second, third, and fourth really shaking up. So you see Soranzo practically nose to tail with Will Lyon and Alex Salmon just behind. Tough to tell whether these drivers are just waiting it out, waiting to use up push to pass. Pretty much everybody's still with the amount that they started with in terms of push to pass. So we've got 9 for Ike, 9 for Soranzo, 10 for Will Lyon, 9 for Alex Salmon. And Sam Blackwood, who's managed to creep his way up into 5th, he's still got 9 as well. So as we see this 3-car train here, we take a look back in the field. See Sam Blackwood now 5th place, up 3 spots. Good looking blue and orange livery. Saw just in front. I'm not sure if Lyon was having a look around Salmon or I'm sorry, was having a look around Soranzo or whether he's settling in, but just peeking his nose out a little bit, trying to look down the inside. There's Alex Salmon on the button. Salmon can't get it done, was on the button there. Maybe he had a little rough exit, trying to make up for that. Seems like any moment that we try to jump backwards, take a look at some of the other drivers in the race, something exciting happens, and there you see Thomas Klessens just really, you know, at this point, deciding to pit and bring it back in. Here we've got another problem. This Tim Miller and Jessica Myers both having an incident, and there's some weaving going on. No, not Myers. Anderson gets through, and Tim Miller having that issue. So I don't know. Let's see if we can figure out whether Myers actually made contact there. It looked like Myers, Jessica just slowing down. Oh, I see, was run into from behind. So Magnus Anderson there, it showed losing his front wing in that incident, but looks like he's got it all gathered back up. Tim Miller, meanwhile, has entered the pits and left again. So we look back up here at the front. We'll try to gather this all back up. We'll go through the field. We've got Andreas Ike leading by 2.49 seconds over Frenchman David Soranzo, who is looking to see if there's any way he can scratch out some time. But it doesn't look like it, as Andreas Ike just continues to lay down the heat on track. A 1:14.79 last time by. Starting to get towards qualifying times here, as Andreas Ike really feeling it. Soranzo in second, Lyon and Salmon in third as they work around Tim Miller, who pulls aside. Sam Blackwood in fifth. Phil Lee has lost 3 positions from where he started, but he's been holding strong since then, fighting for Team Spirit Box. See the American from Houston really trying to capture that speed that he had in qualifying and early on in this race. Just a little ways back, it's Mark Hutchinson, as we mentioned just a moment ago, up 7 spots today, really fighting up into 7th. Oscar Fredrickson currently in 8th, having gained 7 spots as well. David Gloss here in 9th, having gained 10 spots, actually having a terrific climb compared to where he qualified. And I'm sure anytime you qualify outside of the top 10 and you're sitting in the top 10, it feels pretty good, to be quite honest with you. You're always just, you know, it's a game of inches. It's really a game of inches, and you're always just trying to claw up the order, just 1 or 2 spots. You know, if you qualify in 20th, you'd love to get a top 10. If you qualify in 10th, you'd love to get a top 5. We've got a couple of drivers. Michael Grossberger having a moment. What happened here for the Grossman? Spinning it around, it just barely clipping that. I'm so glad that driver there having the wherewithal to avoid. That was right on the racing line. Grossberger actually doing an excellent job of hanging on to the car, getting it spun back around, and I think only did just a small amount of damage. So actually not so bad. Go back and take a look at David Gloss, who's having that great race so far. Christian Malkorek, been up and down in the order. Qualified 11th, up into 10th at the moment. We'll look at maybe the battle box up on screen so we can see a little bit more of the graphics as we go by. Jessica Myers. See for Team Fiercely Forward here. A great livery. Jessica's actually had a stellar day. Up 11 spots, so we'll keep an eye on that. Started in 22nd. I don't think she got in a time. But that is Magnus Anderson just behind, and now down the inside, who is giving her a run for her money. Jessica giving her the spot. Magnus Anderson improving. So Anderson up into 11th. He's gained 12 spots today. We saw Magnus Anderson at the front a couple of races ago, so I'm not sure why Magnus started so far back. Be interested to find that out. Just a little ways back from those two, however, we have Michael Grossberger, who's down a position. Still on the lead lap, as is just behind him, Matthew Levine. Now, Levine is actually down 8 spots so far today. That's a rough go. Unfortunate for him. I'm sure he would have liked to see himself up there in the top 10. Simon Maltby is actually part of this group that I believe is now down a lap. So shown back here in 15th, but gained 5 spots today. And again, it's all just a matter of doing better than you qualify, I hope, and doing everything you can to have a great finish for not only the race, but the season. So here you see Tim Miller working on the back of Maltby. And we just continue to get notes that Thomas Klessens continues to have issues. Multiple times we've been noted that he's crashed or had an issue, so unfortunately for the Thomas Klessens fan club, not going the way that they would like, I'm sure. But on screen, this exciting battle right here for 18th position, no, for 16th and 15th position. It's Tim Miller fighting Simon Maltby. It's a question as to whether Tim is going to be able to do anything with that car, possibly sustaining damage earlier. Might get a run down into the corner. And there he does, successfully pulling off the pass. I think Maltby not really fighting him too hard. It was good to see a little bit of gentlemanly passing on the track. So Bennett Bars, unfortunately, having an issue a moment ago, and now we have a note. Sam Blackwood has crashed in the number 27 machine, and just behind, it's Philip Lee coming to a halt. He doesn't crash. That allows the number 33 car to get around. That's Mark Hutchinson up into 5th place. Philip Lee also getting around. So Sam Blackwood was running so well. We'll have to see what premeditated that and continuing to have issues. Get going. It's looking like that car is crabbing down the track. He's really struggling to control it. And there you can see that car's steering is absolutely destroyed. And he basically has to pull off and jump back to the pits. So what a change of events for Mr. Blackwood. He was right up there with a beautiful top 5, now jumping back. And so where does that put everyone else? We have Philip Lee also in. I don't know whether that was intentional or not, but Lee now back out on track. We can go back to that. Lee back out on track in 11th spot. So with 19 laps remaining, very possible he's pitted so that he can make it to the end, and we'll see where that puts him as everyone else circulates here. So thus far, those drivers not having stopped: Andreas Eick, David Soranzo, Will Lyon, Alex Salmon, Mark Hutchinson, who's now up into 5th, having gained 9 spots today, as well as Oscar Fredrickson and David Glaus, our final car, who has not yet stopped. So we look at Andreas Eick, who's now built a 3-second lead over this group, still running nose to tail. It's incredibly tight here. So we see Will Lyon under heavy attack from Alex Salmon, but these three have been running nose to tail for the entire race. David Soranzo in 2nd, Will Lyon in 3rd, and Alex Salmon in 4th. Right on board with the Jersey native. TMR Racing Machine. Alex Salmon currently leading the points, doing everything he can to try to possibly beat Will Lyon or David Soranzo, as they are knocking on the door of the points in the championship, and this would hurt a little bit to lose. As we see up in front, it's Lyon getting around Soranzo. As Soranzo has a moment, will Salmon be able to take Soranzo? All three on the button. They head down into the corner. Who will lift first? It's Salmon to the front as Soranzo moves from 2nd to 4th. Moves Salmon into 3rd. And it looks like Soranzo falling off the back a little bit. But this will uncover Will Lyon. If Will was struggling to get around before, we'll see if he can put the laps down and start to edge back into that lead. As you see Andreas Eick well up the track there, just disappearing. So this will shake up the order a little bit, as Soranzo having that moment just a moment ago. Moving Will Lyon into 2nd and Salmon into 3rd, Soranzo into 4th, and Mark Hutchinson now in 5th. So Hutchinson a good 10 seconds back of Soranzo. Will take quite a bit of work for him to get back up there. You can see Henrik Jakimski rooting on Alex Salmon in our YouTube chat, and James Crouch saying the chat made it happen. You bet. Up into P5 for Mark Hutchinson. Team Evo SR. So Eick up by close to 3 seconds, but Will Lyon that time by a 1:15.19 to Andreas Eick's 1:15.22. So just the tiniest bit faster Will Lyon. There you can see the gap. Lyon looking that time by a 14.82 for Will Lyon and a 16.15 for Andreas Eick. Alex Salmon also with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:14.78. So the game is on. The game is afoot, as they like to say. Will Lyon flying around here that time, over a second faster to Andreas Eick. Take a look, also getting a note that Jessica Myers having an incident here. Not sure whether it clipped the right car. We'll see. Jessica Myers, there we go. And just having a problem entering the fountain section. Unfortunately clipping off the front wing, and so... Oh, and Bennett Bars, just... That is where we saw Bennett Bars had a crash. And unfortunately, Bars definitely... And Myers really just kind of sitting there on track, then finally escaping back to the pits. But back up front, it's Andreas Eick, who last time by a 15.42 to Will Lyon's 15.18. Lyon taking 3/10 of a lap, 3/10 of a second a lap that time by. I'm not sure if it's Andreas Eick just kind of backed out a little bit, maybe trying to get a little bit of extra fuel, maybe didn't have quite as much fuel in the tank as he would like, or whether there you saw Lyon, or there you saw Eick possibly having a little bit of a moment on the tires. That gap now down under 2 seconds. As it's anyone's race, gates have been lifted. Soranzo no longer at the front of this group, now having slid back. He's now 3 seconds, over 3 seconds adrift of Will Lyon. So Lyon really picking up the pace here in second place. From Dunfermline, Scotland. The SMS Racing driver, this last time by, Andreas Eick a 1:15.54, Will Lyon a 15.22. That is Jessica Meyer, you see passing on the right. So Lyon, the interval down to under 2 seconds at the moment. See Big Red jumping into YouTube chat again. Good to see ya. Letting us know it's one of the best combos on the service right here, you bet. Dallara IR18 is a handful, whether you're on a road course or street track or oval, short oval, long oval, whatever. D-shape, doesn't matter. Absolutely great combo. And this track is just a handful. No matter what you're driving, whether it's a GT, prototype, anything, but you put one of these lightweight dancing Dallara IR18 Indy cars out here, and it's got just enough downforce to keep you on the track when everything goes right, but it's so easy to get everything going wrong. Andreas Eick in the pits, as is Will Lyon and Alex Salmon responding. See if we go back to that. There you can see your top 4 in the pits. This crucial right here, as these drivers stopping for hopefully their final pit stop of the day. We see Andreas Eick staying with red tires. Will Lyon as well. Alex Salmon switching to the black tires. David Soranzo also on red tires. Hutchinson making his stop, as well as Bennett Bars in front. You see there, Hutchinson moving to the black tires. And here we see Oscar Fredrickson into the pits for his stop, and probably getting black tires on that rig as well. Philip Lee continuing to circle around. So we look back up at the front, and I don't have confirmation. I'm not sure. I would love to know. I don't have race control for me to be able to ask and be able to find out, but I am not sure if Andreas Eick actually has taken black tires or whether Will Lyon has taken black tires. That is something that they can confirm for us. If somebody in chat does know, we'd love to know that info. Again, it's something that's not provided by our software. But you see the battle on track. It's Eick and Lyon. nose to tail for the lead, with Alex Salmon in third and David Soranzo fourth, Mark Hutchinson in fifth. Christian Malkorek currently shown in sixth place. So he's gained a bunch of spots recently, but I don't think, in fact, he has not made his final pit stop, his last stop, coming on lap 5. So we'll see if we can show some of our pit stop data up on screen. There you see Malkorek, one of the last ones to come in. Excuse me, one of the last ones to come in on this cycle. And there we've got David Glads coming into the pits and leaving as well, making his final stop. So we'll have to see what exactly the strategy for Ike and Lyon is or was. In the meantime, we've got Ike and Lyon running 1-2, with Salmon just 3.5 seconds back from this battle. David Soranzo having slipped 5 seconds back from Will Lyon. And last time by, it was a 1:15.46 for Lyon. It's getting very close to the back of Andreas Ike. And there, Andreas Ike into the wall, with Will Lyon crashing right into the back of him.
The yellow flag is out.
And the yellow flag flies. Our 2 leaders out of the race. I have no idea. I was just watching right there with you, and I have no idea what caused Andreas Ike to just hit the wall, just straight into the wall. And there you see Will Lyon ping-ponging off of the wall himself. We were on board with Will. There you can see him struggling again. He's not going to wait for a tow. Looks like he's going to try to haul that thing back. I'm sure Will is just absolute. I mean, he's going to try to continue. I don't know if he can even drive the car around the track at this point, but oh, what heartbreak for Andreas Ike and Will Lyon. I'm a bit speechless, but we'll go back and see what happened. See if we can go back and watch here as Andreas Ike just gets too far into the corner, brakes hard, but not good enough. There, nowhere to go. Both cars blocking the track. Let's roll that back, and we'll see if we can figure it out from Andreas Ike exactly what happened. We'll take a look at it full speed here. Oh, I think it was just too shallow of an entry there into where the apex curbing comes out. Just too shallow there. We'll go back one more time, see if we can understand. They're just unable to save that, and you can see Alex sliding right by. So Alex Salmon, see how that looked from his point of view. If we can go back here, sliding between these two cars. So Alex well off of this lead battle, and that's exactly what Mr. Salmon wants to see. Our championship points leader wasn't racing close enough to the back of those two contenders there, and inherits first place as Will Lyon continuing. Is this true? Is he really continuing? Look at that destroyed car of Will Lyon circulating under the pace car. I have no idea how Will Lyon managed to get that car around, but he'll head into the pits now. You see him dragging the tire there on the left-hand side. There it falls away, possibly bouncing down the pit road. Everyone look out as you drive down. There we see a number of drivers coming in, including Mark Hutchinson, Christian Malkarek, a number of drivers. Hutchinson gets going again. So Soranzo choosing to stay out, Philip Lease choosing to stay out, taking over third. Oscar Fredrickson also, David Gloss, Marcus Anderson. These drivers all electing to stay out, so this resets our whole running order. And undoubtedly, if fuel is maybe starting to become a concern for Alex Salmon or David Soranzo, this would have immensely helped this yellow flag. So, what an amazing change of events, as we just saw. Just to recap, Andreas Eick, who was dominating this race, having no issues, not even as much as a noticeable lockup, while we were watching, getting it absolutely wrong, entering the fountain area, clipping the inside apex, curbing, and unfortunately sending him off into the wall. And that caused Will Lyon, who was challenging for the lead and was following so closely behind, possibly going to have a shot at Andreas Eick at that moment, and then Eick crashing. He had nowhere to go. Will Lyon right into the back. Now Will Lyon continuing to circulate under the safety car, not taking a penalty for coming in too early. And so he manages to rejoin in 7th place. Take a look. Do we see any damage still on that car, or did he manage to get all of his damage fixed? It's tough to tell from these angles. Looks pretty good. Usually you can see some scrapes on the car, but hasn't been totally fixed. It's pretty amazing these iRacing pit crews can do. I mean, no offense, some of the real-life IndyCar teams should be looking at this. They're able to completely replace multiple components on the car within just a matter of seconds. And it's very impressive, to be quite honest. Alex Salmon, leader here. Works on lap 30. Under yellow. So a reset. This is the Prime Meridian Racing League, and it has changed hands a couple of times with who the leaders are. But it's not so surprising to now see this man, Alex Salmon, in the lead. He's your points leader, and he's held on quite well today. Was involved in a three-way battle for second place. Looked like Andreas Eick was going to run away with it, but clear him off, though he did manage to get. So we'll take a look at Andreas Eick on screen, who's now shown in 7th place, just in front of Will Lyon. I think Will maybe, I'm not sure if, yes, it does say that Will Lyon, I'm not sure if he pitted again. I'm not exactly sure how. Oh, I think that's what's happened, is just simply Andreas Eick moving forward a little bit, Will Lyon having to move to the back. So maybe what has happened is Will Lyon possibly having to serve a penalty. I'm not really sure. Just trying to guess here. So we do not have the information that would show us those penalties up on the screen. So we'll go back through the running order here, as we can see Alex Salmon in first, David Soranzo running in second, Philip Lee now finding himself in third, this up and down that he's had today. Philip Lee spinning, having an issue earlier. Now back up into third. Oscar Fredrickson in fourth. 11 spots gained today. Would be very thrilled with that. David Glass there in fifth, up 14 spots. What an amazing run for him. Magnus Anderson, 17 spots gained, currently in sixth place. So Salmon last pitting on lap 52. It's questionable whether he'll be able to make it. So Andreas Ike, of course, having that incident, I'm sure he'll be looking to use every ounce of speed that he's got in that car. He did qualify on the pole. Be looking to get back up there. Will Lyon basically in the same place. He's going to have to zoom through this field in a very short period of time. Mark Hutchinson had a favorable strategy going, was in fifth, now in ninth. Christian Malkorek, your top 10, still on the lead lap and still fighting. Malkorek there up a spot. So here we go. We get set for what should be a final shootout with everybody except for Alex Salmon definitely having enough fuel. So we'll have to see about Alex. But nevertheless, the field forms. David Soranzo in second place. And we'll see who's got what it takes as Salmon steps on the gas. Soranzo responds in third. Philip Lee Soranzo in second. Philip Lee in third. Salmon had a bit of a moment there in turn one. You could see it just in front. We'll have to see if Soranzo can move ahead. We see some drivers making some moves in the back. There, Soranzo down the inside of Salmon. Backs out. Can't quite get it done. Looks like Matthew Levine and Christian Malkorek swap places back and forth. And there you can see Salmon being hounded by Soranzo. Not far behind. Oscar Fredrickson having a moment. It says he's crashed. Not sure what has happened to Fredrickson, as now Anderson slides by. Magnus Anderson now up into fifth, up 18 positions today. Oscar Fredrickson back to sixth. So we don't want to lose this lead battle. Looks like Salmon has pulled out a tiny bit of a gap on Soranzo. Philip Lee just hanging on in third. David Glass in fourth. Magnus Anderson now getting a little bit of a gap. We can see quite a battle happening back here as Christian Malkorek in 10th. Grossberger in 11th. So here you can see Hutchinson trying to get around Oscar Fredrickson on the button, not able to do it. Here our driver a little bit further back, Matthew Levine. We haven't talked too much about. He did qualify quite well. Qualified in 6th, but slid back to 12th here. Oh, and there, a driver just in front having an issue. It's Michael Grossberger stuck up against the wall, and unfortunately for Grossberger, that's going to do it. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Grossberger in deep into the corner and just looked like he didn't get it turned in time. So there he'll have to reset back to the pits and possibly fix that damage. So we look at Alex Salmon, your leader, with 21 laps to go. David Soranzo just behind. No, so I'm thinking a lot of these drivers are going to have to make another stop. I really don't think anybody can quite stretch it. This is going to be tricky, though. We're going to have to find out. I seriously don't think Alex Salmon has enough fuel. But it's anyone's guess. These drivers all running fuel calculator apps. They'd be well aware. So we can see David Soranzo really up on the back of Alex Salmon now, waiting for that opportunity. So Soranzo not able to get the run that he would like or needs to be able to get this pass done. So, your top 5 at the moment, Alex Salmon currently running in first, having taken over the lead because of Andreas Eick and Will Lyons' accident, brought out a yellow, and there you've got Alex Salmon in the lead. Oscar Fredrickson now having another incident. Again, our software not really catching it. Sorry about that. There, it spun off. And he's managing to continue. Oscar Fredrickson was doing so well. Unfortunately, that is going to severely compromise his race today. And we've got a note that says Christian Malkorek perhaps has had an incident. This was Malkorek on inside of Matthew Levine a moment ago. Malkorek spins and hits the wall, clipping another driver that was just behind. And he tries to get reversed and finally manages to. Unfortunately, that machine beaten up a little bit. And we move back to the lead here. It's Alex Salmon leading David Soranzo by just 0.3 of a second. Oh, wow. Salmon really had a tank slapper there, and that allowed David Soranzo to get right around. What a moment Soranzo had there out of the corner. Manages to recollect it just in front of Philip Lee, but unfortunately that takes him out of the lead and puts Soranzo up into first. So Philip sitting in third, possibly will have another shot at Alex Salmon. And again, that question mark still remaining, whether or not Alex Salmon able to make it until the end. Actually, Philip Lee, I believe, was the last driver. So Philip Lee stopping last on lap 18. And there, Alex Salmon bringing it into the pits. So that answers that question. Does he get a good stop? He does, up on the jacks. And he gets rolling again. So Salmon out of second. See him rejoin here. And we have a note that we have another incident from Christian Malkarek. And it looks like that car has been beaten to a pulp. And there it's going some more as you see another driver having an issue just behind and able to get it kind of woed up there. We have another incident. Was it Alex Salmon? Just as we cut away on his outlap, he spins and manages to keep it off the wall. Does he get it spun around? No. Unfortunately, he tried to get it to spin around. Well, sometimes the damage that's shown is accurate or not. Can't get the car to get any grip, and he's not doing those Firestones any good. So he lights off the rear. So Alex Salmon sliding out of your top race contention was going so well just a moment ago, and how quickly it falls apart as we now go back up to the race leader, David Saranzo. I can't tell you how many times I've thought it's going to be one driver who's going to win this race, and it's turned out to be somebody totally different. It seemed like not long ago we were seeing David Saranzo falling back, and there we can see Will Lyon, not showing correctly. Here's Will Lyon making a move down the outside of Andreas Eick. And there you go, getting it done easily, handily. That for 5th place. That pass about 15 laps ago would have been for 1st place, but Eick having the issue and Lyon managing to tag the backside. Go back to the live shot, and Will Lyon continuing on, having now pulled out close to a 2nd gap on Andreas Eick. Not sure if Eick having an issue or not, but slowing down at the moment. And there David Saranzo at the front, a 1:14.76, fastest lap of the race. So your leader, the Frenchman David Saranzo, making his stamp on the series, trying to climb the points and trying to take this race victory. I think he wants to go splash around in that fountain when we're all done. As you can see, a little bit of overcast, easy for me to say, settling in on the track, cooling it down just a little bit. So we've got just 14 laps to go. This time by for David Saranzo. I'm sure he's going to be just checking them off in his brain. Okay, 14, 13, 12, 11, just the same thing each lap. Focus on your marks. And deal with these tires as possibly they start to degrade. As we saw happen with Andreas Eick, just a momentary either lapse of attention or you just get your entry to a corner just the wrong way, and it can all come crashing down very, very quickly. You can see it's looking a little slidey if you ask me. That front end not quite wanting to set into the corners. Now, of course, these cars and these drivers do have the anti-roll bar adjustments. It's possible that they will be adjusting these cars as they go along, try to keep the car feeling the correct way through the corners. Myself, I don't personally like to do the anti-roll bar adjustments so much, but if it feels right, if it's good to do at the end of the stint, can give me a little bit more grip, it's what I'm going to do. So we can see that right now it is now David Saranzo in first with Philip Lee in second. That hasn't changed recently. Philip Lee now back 6 seconds. Lost a couple of seconds that lap. Not sure exactly what happened. David Glass now back here into third up 16 spots today. What an incredible run. He's on a pretty good fuel strategy, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it until the end. You've got a couple of drivers who might, though. Magnus Anderson definitely going to be good to go to the end. Oscar Fredrickson going to be good to go to the end. Not sure about everyone else, so this could get a little crazy as we get to the end of this race. Some drivers needing to stop for fuel. So we watch and see who is going to be able to stick it and who won't. There, Philip Lee into the pits. So Philip feeling the pinch in the gas tank, needing to take fuel. As he starts to fall down through the order, that will move this man, David Glass, up into second place. And this now happening on track. Mark Hutchinson getting down the inside of Andreas Eick, as well as Matthew Levine. That's Hutchinson back up into fourth, climbing through this field. Up 10 positions today, looking good. Also, Matthew Levine up a position today from his 6th place starting position. Now up into 5th. And Will Lyon, what am I seeing? Will Lyon now now 18 seconds back of David Soranzo. Seconds. So I would love to know what caused that gap. I honestly don't know, but David Soranzo now has an 18-second gap over Will Lyon. And David Glass now finds himself in 3rd. Hutchinson in 4th. You can see it right there on your track. So Lyon not much further up the track than this. And Hutchinson and Glass fighting it out for 3rd place. Hutchinson right behind Glass, giving that bright green and black machine for Evo SR a good run. Looking to possibly take a podium position. So Will Lyon now 1.8 seconds ahead of David Glass, who's the first car that's shown in this group. And Hutchinson diving down the inside. Very close quarters there. Hutchinson staying on the inside. Glass on the outside. Glass makes it stick, staying on the inside. Hutchinson now under attack from Matthew Levine from behind. We have a note that Jessica Myers has had an incident. We'll look at that in a minute. And Myers has now jumped back to the pits. So she was running in, I believe, 12th. And there, Hutchinson just got tagged from behind from Levine. Levine getting very close. And you see Hutchinson, as Glass slid out a little bit, it was Hutchinson who had to take a little bit of evasive action. So these cars getting a little slidey here with 9 laps to go. Who will get second and third spot? Well, I guess this is a battle for third right here. All 3 drivers, then a short distance. And I don't know if you want to count this driver out, Andreas Eick. He's just a short stone's throw back as well. But it looks like he's struggling a little bit with the car. In the meantime, Hutchinson might have something for Glass, as Glass is really struggling. Will Lyon on the button up the road, trying to close that gap. Hutchinson not using one of his 4 remaining pushes to pass. Push to passes. And David Glass with 7 push to passes remaining. Matthew Levine just behind with 8. Boy, this is getting so tight. My hands and my feet are sweating just watching these 3 drivers hang on. I know what it's like. I mean, you're hanging it out on all these corners, just hoping that you get that run off the corner that the driver in front doesn't get. Hoping to be able to stuff that car down the inside. So we can see Alex Salmon has now overcome Magnus Anderson for 8th place. There, down the inside goes Levine and move him up in front of Hutchinson. So Hutchinson looked like he was going to carry that speed through it. There we can see Hutchinson having a big problem. Not only he having a problem, but trying to see who else that was. It might have been Sam Blackwood. I believe it was Sam Blackwood, who's a lap down, having an issue getting tangled up. Oh, what a change of order this has been. We've seen so many drivers up and down today that it's been hard to follow with who's the fastest out there. But suffice to say, this man, David Soranzo, has been doing it pretty much all right today. He didn't quite have the lead or the pace in the very, very early laps to stick up and try and fight for first position. Kind of fell back a ways as Andreas Eick had just started putting down the hammer and walking away off the front of the race. But Soranzo kept it clean and took the opportunities as they may come. We see Hutchinson now in the pits. Really rough for him. But Will Lyon, who's sitting in 2nd place, 19.7 seconds back of Soranzo. Soranzo stopping on lap 25, Lyon on lap 29. And we can also see Alex Salmon not done back there in 7th place, frustrated, and possibly taking that frustration out on the track with a 1:14.56, the fastest lap of the race thus far for Mr. Salmon. But he had an incident, and that collected this man, Will Lyon. Otherwise, Lyon not doing really anything wrong at all today. Caught up in that incident with Andreas Eick, nowhere to go, and he's managed to recover, rebound. He actually made a great strategy call to keep driving the car around the track under the yellow flag. Despite heavy damage to the car, I would have just come into the pits thinking I might cause more of a problem staying out, but he didn't, and that was the right call as it got him some extra track position, and he was able to get all of his damage repaired, get back underway, and he finds himself in 3rd. Matthew Levine, another driver with an up and down, had an incident earlier, fought hard to get back. There we saw him overtaking as Hutchinson having an issue on track. But Levine in your final podium position at the moment, having an excellent day. Andreas Eick up into 4th with that incident that we saw between Hutchinson, or with Hutchinson. So that will actually clear the way as Eick now up into 4th. Philip Lee now back up into 5th after having his incident earlier. Alex Salmon into 6th, as we mentioned, and Magnus Anderson with a fantastic day, up 16 positions in 7th. Really terrific. Hutchinson still gained 6 positions since he started, but he's going to be upset because he was in the podium spot. Fredrickson back here in 9th, and then Glass in 10th. Glass was as high as 2nd today. So he'll be very frustrated to look at that final result at the end of today. But it's not over yet. 5 laps remaining for this man, David Soranzo. He's got no push to passes remaining. But does he even need them? Up 20 seconds. Can he make it to the checker without stopping for fuel? That is the big question at the moment as we watch Soranzo continue to circulate. And there he is. He's in the pits. So Soranzo not able to do it. Lyon will continue. And we can see Anderson having an accident. What happened to Magnus Anderson? This is the same spot. So many drivers have had this problem today. Clips the wall, no good. And so we go back and look at Will Lyon, and it's Matthew Levine in second. There you see David Soranzo just behind in third. So that your battle for second and third. And we have a note that David Glass has crashed. So I want to say from bad to worse, but we've said that too much today. From worse to horrible for David Glass. All the way back to ninth, falling further as he jumps back into the pits. So much attrition. And I'm just telling you flat out, this has been my experience at this track, no matter the race, in whatever series, league, open or not. Doesn't make any difference. That has been the problem here. It's a survival race to get to the end. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like it should be pretty straightforward. Nice even flow of corners right to left. Should be able to get the car set up and feeling good and in a groove, but it's just one of those tracks where anything can go wrong, get you unsettled. And can you believe that Will Lyon is in the front? As we say that, look who's crashed out of 6th place. It's Alex Salmon in the wall again. Your championship points leader almost clipping another driver there. I believe that was Mark Hutchinson, who himself just clipped the corner. My, oh my. And Salmon really struggling with that car. I don't know if he'll be... He does say he's entered the pits now from 8th place. Wow. That's all I can say. Is wow. What an up and down day for Alex Salmon. But Will Lyon, I have to say, if there's one driver out there that kind of deserves this, I'd say it's Will. He's kept it clean. Got involved in an incident. He didn't let it get to him. He kept his head down. As a result, finds himself out there in front. So just 2 laps remaining for Will Lyon. And second place, Matthew Levine. Third place, David Soranzo. Sorry, I went the wrong way there. Third place, David Soranzo. Fourth place, Andreas Eick. And that is Phil Lee just behind. So this one of the closest battles on track at the moment. Phil Lee, one of our leaders, looking to overtake Andreas Eick, who was also one of our leaders. It's unbelievable to say how many drivers shared the lead at one point in this race, but nevertheless, strategy and as Big Red says, it's turning into a little bit of a wreck fest, but it's definitely the attrition really settling in. These cars are, as I said, a handful on lap 1 when you got fresh tires, but yeah, get them deep into a stint, and it's nothing but trouble as we see Will Lyon taking the white flag. Just one more lap to go for Will to claim round 5 Detroit Grand Prix. So we see unfortunately, Jessica Myers in back. Not going well at the end of this one for Jessica. She'll need to get it reset here. Look forward to next week. But no problems for Will Lyon. And as we look on, it's about halfway done with this lap. Phil Lee trying to see if there's anything he can do to get around Andreas Eick here at the end. I'm not sure there is anything that he's got in his trick bag. Looks like his front left wing has been damaged, so that's part of it. We go back over to Will Lyon as he gets dangerously close to finishing this one out. Just a couple corners remain for Lyon. Sure, he's got all of his fingers crossed and his toes crossed. And there, Will Lyon comes across, your winner here in Detroit at Belle Isle, as Matthew Levine takes second place ahead of David Soranzo, and Phil Lee bringing it home in fourth. Andreas Eick already bailed out of this race, so Philip Lee managed. I do have the results on screen. It says that Philip Lee did get around. I can't quite find that on screen, but does say that that pass was made. Oscar Fredrickson trying to finish out his lap here. As Mark Hutchinson finished, there we see Oscar Fredrickson bringing it home in seventh. Alex Salmon still trying to finish his lap in eighth. And here we see the leaders finishing it off. Will Lyon swerving back and forth. Heads down the back straight for one final time. Absolutely amazing race for Will Lyon. We're going to hope to get him and some other drivers with us in the final. Absolutely. Henrik Jakimski letting us know it was a great race. It sure was. And Will just, he was close last week at Indy, and then he decided to make it official this week, sticking in there, getting first place. So we wait for this one to now finish up and go official. Get a chance to look at the details up on screen of who finished where. And here we go. We can finally look at the results. I guess we don't need that track map up on screen anymore either. So, Will Lyon taking your victory here in Detroit. It was an amazing race. Up and down. Will was not the fastest, but he managed to be there at the top, in the front, when it mattered, keep his nose clean, and avoid some key incidents. Even though he was involved in one key incident, he managed to avoid the rest. That was your big difference today. Matthew Levine having a terrific comeback, finishing 4 spots higher than he started into second place. David Soranzo, your final podium finisher, in third. At one point, it looked like Soranzo would win this race. It also looked like Philip Lee, who finished fourth, might win this race. Even Andreas Eick, who finished fifth, might win this race. It looked like Alex Salmon, who finished in eighth, might win this race. This was the race to say so many drivers were in control of their own destiny, but Detroit claims a few of them, as we can see the final finishing order here. We take a look at the remaining drivers where they finished. It was a rough day for many, that wall jumping out there and capturing them, but take a look over in our chat room. See if we've got any drivers stopping by to say hello. And I can see that we've got Matthew Levine, our second place finisher, dropping by in the booth. Matthew, can you hear us?
Yeah, can I?
I can hear you, bud. So that was amazing to watch. We saw you qualified pretty well today, and then you slid back. You had some incidents. I can only imagine what you went through out there. Nevertheless, keeping it clean and ending up back in second place, pretty high up on the podium. Must feel pretty good. What did you go through out there today?
Well, to be honest, it started off terribly. Just as the warm-up was getting going, my VR shut off, so I had to restart my computer to get it working again, which meant I started from the pit lane, actually. So I started right at the back.
Wow. So you had to start all the way from the back. And then what was your key moments today? Were you just trying to meet a fuel number, and did you meet your fuel number? Did the cautions play an incident for you through the race? Did you have to adjust to that? How did you end up in second place? So many others crashed out. What was your secret?
Well, after the first caution, I started on blacks when I started from the pit lane, I put myself on blacks, and safety car came out after the allotted time you needed to spend on blacks, so got myself onto the reds for the rest of the race, but which made me a lot quicker than some of the black runners towards the end. But it was the second safety car which really helped me out, because at that point I could get to the end with a little bit of fuel saving, and at the end just a few people had to pit, and I just passed them by.
Absolutely. So you were in the right place at the right time with that strategy. That helped you out. Still, at the end, you had great pace, able to avoid the incidents that happened between, obviously, earlier it was Will Lyon and Andreas Ike, but then Philip Lee also having another incident, Saranzo. So you managed to keep yourself clean. Was there something special that you were doing? Were you just trying to tell yourself, keep calm, don't need to get the fastest lap, just keep it clean? Is that just your style? You like to just keep it clean? What was your key? Because so many other drivers, I mean, including leaders, just having moments taking themselves out. Did you clip the wall and hold on to damage? What was the end of your race like to see you in second?
Yeah, so I can't say I had a clean race at all, because in the first safety car, there's a whole load of checking up at the back, and I took my front wing off.
Oh, I see.
So darted into the pits, got my front wing repaired, and then on that outlap, I'm not sure what corner it is, but I locked up and clipped the wall again, damaged myself, and that one did give me a meatball, so I took the fast repair for that, and then came out, and I had the leaders like 8 seconds behind me, and my aim from there was just stay on the lead lap. So if there's a safety car, I'm back in it, and well, that's what happened.
You find yourself in second place. Probably not a shock to you. I'm sure you're happy to see yourself up at the top of one of these things. Is this something that you think you can carry forward? Next week, of course, we have Pocono, back to another oval, but then we've got Mid-Ohio, great road course, Silverstone. We've got Interlagos coming up, another great road track. So something you think you can pick up on some of this momentum from this race, maybe carry it forward into our remaining rounds of the championship?
Absolutely. I mean, normally I'd say the qualifying is the thing that let me down. And today, even though I qualified well, the qualifying didn't mean much. But, just the race pace I had was strong. I think had I not started from the pit lane, I could have stuck with the lead pack and been there to fight with all of those guys. But safety cars worked out for me, and I got lucky, but that's what you need sometimes.
Well, sometimes being at the right place at the right time is the right strategy to have. Anything else you can work out ahead of time goes by the wayside, but you did keep it clean when it mattered. You ended up in second place, a great finish here on VirtualRacing.Network. And so pleased to have you here in the booth with us. Congratulations, Matthew, and looking forward to seeing you next week at Pocono, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thanks a lot.
So Matthew Levine joining us here, VirtualRacing.Network booth, finishing second in today's race, and you can see the points up there on the screen. He was in 15th to start today, but I think he'll be climbing that order, possibly into the top 10 in the points. And so that actually opens the door for us to talk to, actually, we've got David Saranzo with us. So I'd like to give a chat over to David Saranzo. David, can you hear me in the booth?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, David, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
Hi. So, wow, what a race for you. At one point, you were hanging off of Andreas Eick, just falling a little bit back in the opening stages of the race. And then it looked like you were going to take over the lead and be in the front and possibly win the race. But then you had an incident, and unfortunately it slid you a little bit back. Still, third place today, a great finish, and you're just helping out your championship this way.
Yes, I'm a little bit disappointed at the end because I had the lead, and I think the safety car just comes out for Matthew and Will, I would say just on time, because they were able to pit, to change tires, to refuel,
Exactly.
and then to go to the end of the race. I was on the red tires, so I have to pit again. So I knew I have to make the gap with Will, and at this moment I didn't see Matthew in my review mirrors. I just see him in front of me when I exit the pit. So I tried to get him, but it was impossible because I had white tires. So at the end, P3, it's not so bad, but I'm a little bit disappointed because I didn't make any mistake in this race except a small slide when Will and Andreas overtook me. So that's the game. There is a fast repair. We have to play with that. So P3, I would say, see you next race.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you didn't do anything wrong today at all, and you definitely had pace to be first, second, or third, but getting caught out by that safety car, of course, that really helped Matthew Levine. He was one of those ones that was on the other tire and then managed to get onto the reds under the safety car. Did you think about pitting maybe at the same time as them to take the black tires at that point, or did you, or had you just planned on making it by a certain lap and then deciding to go onto black tires?
Yes, I hesitated to pit, but Andreas, I think, was in front of me, and made the choice to synchronize with him. So that's what I think that was the bad choice. But I'm not sure I would have won the race even if I had pit. I'm not sure.
And
we will never know.
I was just gonna say, you'll never know, but that's one of those things. You'll replay that in your head, I'm sure, and try and figure out where you could have made that change or what you could have done different in strategy. But again, looking forward, how do you feel about the rest of the schedule? You're right up there in the points today, coming in third. That's going to continue to keep you up there and possibly boost you. We're looking next race at Pocono. And of course, then, a number of other great road courses going forward. Any of these tracks jumping out to you as some of your favorites?
I think on ovals, everything is possible. So we will see in Pocono and Auto Club. And for the road tracks, I really like Interlagos. So I hope I will be fast there. And I've driven in Mid Ohio and Silverstone as well on the Indy, but we will see. We never know. There are many fast drivers like Will or Andreas and Alex. So competitors are there, and that's what I like as well.
Absolutely. And again, this could very well, looking at how close the points are and how well everyone is doing and how diverse the talent is, being able to take on the ovals as well as road courses. So many great drivers internationally part of this league. We may very well have a shootout for that last race for the championship, and you might be one of those drivers in that shootout. So everybody out there watching on YouTube, make sure you keep tuning in, because this championship really starting to shape up. So congratulations to you, David, coming home in third place, and we'll look forward to getting to chat with you more as the season goes on. Congratulations and good luck for the future.
Thank you, Trevor, and congrats to Will and Matthew for the win and the podium.
Absolutely. So pleasure having David Soranzo on with us to do the interview here at VirtualRacing.Network. And so that will bring us to our race winner, who I understand was splashing over in the fountain area, getting all covered in some of that Detroit water goodness. Hey, Will Lyon, can you hear me in the booth? Are you back? Are you dried off?
Yeah, hi Trevor. Yeah, chuck us a towel, mate, will you?
Right. What a brilliant run for you. We were just talking with David Soranzo, and he said he didn't do anything wrong at all, and just got caught out. But you truly didn't do anything wrong. You just happened to catch a spot where Andreas Eick went off right in front of you, and you had nowhere to go. And so, that set you back a little bit. But from that point on, truly, it looked like you just put your head down. You made zero mistakes, and it was your race from that point on. So, congratulations to you on a hard fought win.
Yeah, thanks. It was a real tough one, and I do feel a bit for David and the rest of the guys who got caught out by that late safety car. Yeah, at the time I was a bit disappointed. I didn't manage to avoid Andreas because I could sort of see it coming as soon as we went into the corner. I just felt like he was going in a little bit too hot, and then he clipped the curb, and I knew at that point he was only going one way, and that was straight into the wall. And I did try my best to avoid, and I've watched it back, and to be fair, I don't think there was much I could have done. But yeah, as you say, I just kept it on the road. That was incredibly difficult, particularly on the primaries, and I'm glad I didn't have to push at the end there because it was just like driving on ice at the end. So a brilliant result for myself and Matt. We both drive for the same team, SMS Racing. So absolutely brilliant to get a 1-2, and hopefully that will stick us at the top of the championship now. So yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I can see your clever face there on the nose of the Dallara IndyCar. And I was wondering why that was on the nose of Matthew Levine's, and now, of course, it makes sense. You're both teammates. I was like, I know what Will Lyon looks like. Why is he on the front of Matthew Levine's car? Anyway, Will, heck of a race to hold it together. And again, staying fast at the front all race long. You showed your championship form here, and again, your teammate coming home in second. I'm just wondering if this is going to start turning into the Will Lyon show up at the front. Obviously, you've got a lot of other drivers from Andreas Eick to Philip Lee who were challenging for the lead, but it was you who kept it strong. And again, like last week at Indy, if you hadn't had that incident there, you might have been up in the lead for that race. Will, you're really showing yourself well here in the series, and I think we're going to be seeing you up at the front in P1 before too long, if you didn't move into the front, given Salmon's finish today.
Yeah, I mean, I very much doubt it's going to be the Will Lyon show. As you said earlier, I'm not the quickest guy out there, but we do quite a bit of endurance racing, and I think that sort of show today, it was just about keeping it steady, particularly at a place like Detroit. I mean, it's a phenomenal track, but it's just danger everywhere. So yeah, we'll wait and see. The ovals are a bit of a lottery in particular, and I've not done a race at Pocono since the old time model, I think. So I have no idea how it's going to go. But yeah, with the help of Ian Belle, that's the bald guy on the front of our car. Hopefully we can get another few good results. He's the creator of Slightly Mad Studios. That's what we sort of name ourselves after. He made the phenomenal Project Cars 2. It sort of built the foundation for how we drive on iRacing. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, really. And I think if you're solid and steady in this Dallara IndyCar, you can get some decent results. So we can get some.
And I apologize for cutting off. The audio broke on my side a little bit, and then you came back in, you were still talking. Apologize. Yeah, Ian Belle there being on the front of your car. I just saw a photo that looked
I've got a little bit more hair still, just about. I'm clinging on, but yeah, it's just a bit of fun.
Yeah. So were you racing over in Project Cars? Because I know they have the IndyCar Project Cars, and that's been a popular thing for people to be racing. Does it carry over into iRacing?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, people sort of, say Project Cars 2 is just a game, but I mean, we learned, myself and Matthew, that's where we came from. That's what got us into sim racing, and that's what got us into iRacing eventually as well. And if we could get a bit of rain in iRacing, I think that would really help us out, because that's what we like doing on Project Cars. So Yeah, it does transfer over. I think no matter what you're playing, whether it's the F1 game or Assetto Corsa or Forza, it all transfers over, doesn't it? So, yeah.
Well,
It's just
there you
good fun.
go. I mean, if you wanna win at the top level of iRacing IndyCars, you should head on over and pick up your copy of Project Cars 2 and train like Will Lyon and Matthew Levine. And anyway, no, certainly a fantastic finish for both of you today. What a great way to end the race. You finished 3 spots ahead of where you qualify. He finished 4 spots ahead. I'm sure you guys will be sharing the champagne in the team transporter tonight. So congratulations there. And then, yeah, we do head to Pocono next week. Any thoughts going into the rest of the championship? Are you focused on any particular races, or is it just adapt and be present and hope to win?
No, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the schedule. I look at it the week before, and then I start practicing a few days before and do a couple of stints and just keep doing that, really. Pocono next, and then I assume it will be another road course. So
it's Mid-Ohio Silverstone
well,
Auto
Mid
Club.
Ohio is going to be really hard. I don't think I've ever done an official race there. So yeah, I mean that's a roller coaster, that track, isn't it? So it'll be very similar to this one, probably just a little bit less savage with the damage, perhaps. But yeah, no, it's looking forward to it. It's going to be really challenging.
Well, next time out will be Pocono, a track made for Indy cars, extremely fast. And so we look forward to see, I mean, with your performance at Indy, I think you'll be one of the stars at the front. Will, it's absolutely a pleasure to have you join us here on the broadcast. We look forward to talking to you a lot more as the season goes on.
Cheers, Trevor. Thank you.
All right. Cheers. Well, that is going to do it for us here on VirtualRacing.Network. It was my absolute pleasure to bring you today's race. It was round 5 of 12 from the Virtual Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Isle. And, of course, your winner today was Will Lyon, Matthew Levine in second, and David Soranzo in third. It was an exciting race from the very beginning. It was quite amazing to watch driver after driver take over the lead, take over control of the race, and then it slip out of their hands and slip away. Nevertheless, teammates Will Lyon and Matthew Levine coming through to take first and second. An absolute shocker of a finish, if I do say so myself. So we will see you next time from Pocono next Wednesday. Make sure to mark your calendar, subscribe over on YouTube, and like this video for more. Thank you so much for joining us from around the world. Greatly appreciate you joining us over on YouTube. We'll see you next time. It's been Trevor Greenfield. Bye-bye for now, everyone.